Hey guys, Mary Meet, and welcome to another reading. And this is a brand new reading that I'm offering. I'm really excited to do this because I have done this reading before. I've gotten really interesting results with it, and this is the first time I'm doing it on video to show to you guys. But it also is a reading that someone has ordered, and this one is for Turtle. Now, I love Turtle because she lets me experiment and do these new readings and kind of, see what happens. So this one is for you. And what I do here is, this is my integrating shadow and light reading. And so what we're looking at with this reading is, this is our light side. Okay, this is what we present to the world. Okay, this is the parts of ourselves that we're comfortable with that we will show to other people. This is our shadow side. Okay, these are the things that we hide. Okay, these are the things that we maybe even hide from ourselves, that we have trouble dealing with. Okay, things that we don't necessarily like about ourselves, and things that we don't show other people. Okay, now one thing that is pretty important, we're all finding out in metaphysical work, is to deal with our shit, essentially, right? We want to deal with our shadow side. It's called shadow work, right? And what that is that's a method of like uncovering all these things that we hide, okay? Uncovering the things that we're uncomfortable with, the things we don't like about ourselves, uncovering our shadow side and trying to integrate it with the light side, okay? Because we found that over the years, trying to hide this, trying to suppress it, doesn't help, okay? Not only does it not help, I mean, it will come out eventually, right? But this can also be helpful, okay? This can be, if we know ourselves in a fuller, more holistic way, both our light side and our dark side, and we accept this, that's strengthening, okay? We're getting this full understanding of ourselves and how we deal with things, and that can actually be helpful in life, all right? So we've got the light side, we've got the shadow side, and this is our helper. Okay, I'm using, this is the Paulina Tarot, this is the Deviant Moon Tarot, this is Wisdom of the Hidden Realms, okay? So this is like our helper or our challenger. This is kind of a guide, okay, to help us bring this all together, if you will. So, let's get started. Now, the first card that we have here is this guy right here, and this is what is revealed, okay? This is what you reveal to the world. All right, and we've got the Ten of Swords. Now, with the Ten of Swords, that's about kind of being just struck over and over and over again, okay? You've been stabbed over and over again, and this means that something has got to give, right? You can't keep going the same way that you've been going, right? And this is something that you're sharing with the world. You're exhausted, okay? You've got a lot going on. You've just taken so many hits, and you're letting people know that, which is great, okay? Because sometimes you really need to have people on your side, okay? Sometimes, if left to our own devices, we'll just keep going and going and going to our own detriment. But you are telling people, hey, listen, I've got the weight of the world on my shoulders, and something has got to go, okay? So that's a good thing. That's actually really positive that you are able to express that and able to share that with people, okay? Now this card is, what do I hide from the world? Okay. Well, this is interesting. Now, okay, what you show people is that you're so exhausted, you're so spent, and you need a break, right? But what you're hiding is this Page of Swords reversed. And the Page of Swords is about making decisive action, okay? He is about, well, not action so much, but making good decisions, making quick decisions, receiving messages and acting upon them. But he's reversed, okay? So what that shows me is that while you're showing the world you're done, you're done, you need a break, you're still having trouble making the decision to take that break, okay? There's a little bit of confusion, all right? And that's something that you don't necessarily feel comfortable with. You want to be decisive, but you don't have that, okay? And it may be that you've been so stressed out from this card that making a decision just seems like more stress. So yeah, so I feel like what's being said here is that you need to make this decision, okay? In order to remedy this, there's a decision that has to be made, okay? You need to think about it, you need to be analytical, you need to get rid of any confusion that you may have, clear that out, do what it takes, meditate, whatever, but that's really going to help you, okay? Now this next card is how others see me. And we have, I'm sorry, it's hard to do this around the camera. We have the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is about finding peace, okay? About leaving sorrows behind, moving on to clearer waters, all right? So what people see is that you don't stick around in bad situations, right? This is what you show to people. This is kind of how they perceive you, that you make change when necessary, okay? You go to, from difficult situations and transition gracefully into making them work for you, all right? So that's how people perceive what you're going through, okay? Now, this card is how I see myself. So it's different. This is about other people's perceptions. This is about our perceptions. And we've got, wow, this is a lot. Okay, so this is the Queen of Wands, reversed, okay? Now, I find it interesting that these are court cards because that's about personifying concepts. So while people see you as being able to leave something behind, you are seeing yourself, the Queen of Wands is about, she takes action, okay? She takes no shit, basically. She's like the epitome of strength and motivation and moving on and getting things done and doing what has to be done, but she's reversed here, okay? So you see yourself as like unable to get things done. Maybe you feel like you're secretly afraid that you're too weak to do what needs to be done, or that you just can't follow through and do the best thing for yourself, okay? So while other people are saying, hey, this is Turtle, she, goes and does what's best, even if it means leaving behind a situation, you secretly kind of see yourself as not having the strength to do that, okay? So this card is, how can I integrate the light side into my shadow self? And here we have the Knight of Pentacles reversed. Now, this is kind of interesting, and especially because I know you. The Knight of Pentacles is about work, okay? Slow, plodding, boring work, okay? The one who just shows up and just keeps working and working and working. And he always gets things done, but in a very slow, methodical kind of way. Well, he's reversed here, right? So in order to deal with all this stuff, you need to stop just showing up and doing all the work, okay? You need to stop plodding along. You need to stop being reliable and dependable. Because, yeah, he is the guy, he shows up for work every day, okay? And he just works those fields and works them until harvest time, okay? It takes a long time for him to see his rewards. You got to stop doing this, okay? Because it's reversed. Nothing is going to come from you showing up and doing the same thing day after day after day, right? So in order to deal with the confusion that you're feeling here, and in order to deal with your fear that you are not strong enough or decisive enough or motivated enough to make the changes, you got to stop just showing up and doing the stuff that, it's the same stuff that you've been doing all along, and it's not helping you, right? Nothing's going to change unless you make those changes, okay? So this card here is about bringing the shadow into the light, okay? So that can be helpful, hopefully. And here we've got the Ace of Cups reversed. Now, the Ace of Cups, that's kind of about pure love energy, right? That's about being kind of like the fountain of love, right? About just having that pure energy that just flows and flows and flows. When the Ace of Cups is reversed like this, that cup has been dumped out, okay? You don't have any more of that emotional energy, okay? You don't have that love. You don't have that need to take care of everyone and their emotions, all right? So you've got to stop thinking about everybody else, right? Because you're never going to make any of these changes if you're constantly trying to be that Ace of Cups, okay? Trying to be that fountain of love and, goodness. You really need to deal with some internal shadow work. Okay, shadow work's going to be really good for you. So, yeah, I mean, you gotta stop showing up and doing the same things over and over and over again, doing the work. And you need to stop trying to be everything to everyone, okay? You are not inexhaustible. You can be exhausted. Your love can be exhausted, okay? Now, I want to take a moment now to tell you what I should have told you in the beginning. And I want to talk a little bit about the stones I chose. Now, these are obsidian, okay? Obsidian is really, really good for dealing with your shit. They kind of purify negativity, but in order to purify that negativity, they bring up stuff. Okay? They bring up the shadow side. They bring up things from your past. They bring up things you don't like, things you don't want to deal with, so that you have to deal with them. And it's kind of, obsidian is kind of rough to work with, to be honest. But it is something that when we're doing shadow work is incredibly helpful. Okay, so if you have obsidian, I don't know if you do, might be worth getting your hands on some. Okay. And I also chose quartz crystals because quartz crystals just amplify the energy of anything you do, right? They're good. They kind of work with light. They bounce light around and kind of bring light to every situation. And they also bring clarity, okay? So with shadow work, you've got to be clear. This is really important. And yeah, so if you want to get stones to kind of work with these energies that I'm talking about right now, obsidian and quartz crystal would be really good for you. Okay. So let's talk right now about your guide. And for this one, because it is an oracle deck, I always look up the oracles because there are so many oracles that I have. I cannot possibly memorize all the cards. So I do still use the books for these. So we have the Camel Boy. Interesting. Okay, this is actually a really pretty card too. This is Colette Baron Reed's deck, one of hers. And yeah, small steps in asking for help. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So it kind of runs a little bit contrary to this Knight of Pentacles here, where it's saying small steps, because that's what he's about. He just keeps taking those steps. But I think this is making small steps towards change, all right? And it says here as an ally, which is what it is when it's upright, when the Camel Boy comes as your ally, he reminds you that asking for help will bring in the right people to ease the burden of your life. Perhaps a wise person appears to give you advice. Maybe you're moving and suddenly a couple of friends offer to give you a hand with your packing, or you want information about someone and you just happen to run into his former partner who gives you the knowledge you need to make the decision you've been weighing. No matter the issue, this is a sign that if you ask, you will receive what you need. Synchronicity is engaged when you request assistance. The Camel Boy never lets you down when you ask for help in lightening your load. Now is the time to do so and to expect to get it. Okay? So yeah, so that's telling me you've got all this internal stuff, and this is actually a very kind of like a solitary reading. This is one that is about you doing the work internally. However, you've been trying to do the work internally, okay? You've been trying to, well, you haven't though, but you've just been showing up and plodding along and doing the same things. This is telling me you could stand to talk to somebody, all right? Somebody who is going to be supportive, who knows you, who knows what you're about, and who knows how to help you find what you need in the situation, right? Yeah, and there's no shame in that. And in all honesty, this can just be a friend. This doesn't have to be, it could be a therapist, or it could just be a friend, all right? But yeah, I feel like getting some fresh perspective is going to be really good for you. And take small steps to make changes, okay? So yeah, this is about small steps. Do something small, okay? Every week, choose some small action that's going to keep you from trying to show up and keep doing the work and keep plodding along. It's going to keep you from trying to be that font of emotional energy. Take a small step to pull back and to give back to Turtle, okay? So if you keep taking these small steps week after week after week, you're going to change very slowly, but it's going to be a good thing, okay? So yeah, so talk to people, get some support, and yeah. But I feel like once you kind of know these things about yourself and once you like really examine them, you can bring them into your psyche, make them work for you, or at least, understand them and keep them from hindering you. So that's it. Let me know if this resonates for you. Let me know what you think of this reading. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me at amyravenson@gmail.com. And thank you so much for ordering, and blessed be. Bye-bye.